The Vedas, in general, teach so many different kind of people. People who are married, people who are businessmen, and at the same time, people who are sannyas, monks, brahmacharis. So how is it possible that all the Vedas fit for everybody?
Vedas see the ends of life, what people are seeking, in a fourfold way. It's called Purushartha. Purushartha, what the Purusha the people want. So they recognize that human being has four kinds of pursuits: dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So dharma means people want to go to heaven. That's one thing. So that they accumulate the punya or the virtue, as a result of which they can go to heaven after departing from this body. Artha stands for wealth, name, fame, security, prosperity. And that is mainly for what you may call ego satisfaction. Kama is for sense gratification. So gratification of senses. So people want either gratification of, first thing that any human being wants is kama, is that you want sense gratification. And so the Vedas prescribe many rituals by which you can get the objects of pleasure in this world. You can get also progeny, you can get rain, you can get wealth, you can get cattle, you can get various things which you need for pleasure. This is the first thing that occurs to the person. After the pleasure, then slowly person grows to a little bigger needs. He wants ego gratification. He wants to expand himself a little more. Pleasures are confined only to the person and to the objects. But then he wants to expand, so he wants ego gratification. He wants name, fame, recognition, power, so that he has control over larger number of people. That's called artha. So then second thing that a human being wants is artha. For that also Vedas prescribe the means. Then person wants something more. Now Swarga or heaven can be included with kama only, as a pleasure only, here or hereafter. But dharma also can be interpreted as a human being now wants something more than merely sense pleasure or ego gratification. He wants spiritual satisfaction. So then dharma can be interpreted as selfless action. So now he wants even further, subtler joy of serving the community, helping the people. And this is called the action performed selflessly or as a contribution. So far he was the consumer. He wanted things for himself. Now contributor. That also gives him joy, a subtler level of joy. Dharma. And finally moksha, complete liberation. So, thus Vedas have recognized that they are the four Purusharthas or the human ends. So, Vedas provide the knowledge of means and ends. So, these are the four ends, and Vedas provide the means. So, generally for Artha, Kama, you require various rituals. So, Vedas give a number of rituals for attaining the desirable ends in this world and in the other world hereafter, here and hereafter. And then, so all of this is Karma Kanda. The first section of Veda, which deals with rituals and do's and don'ts and code of conduct, is Karma Kanda, which addresses Dharma, Artha and Kama. Then comes Jnana Kanda, the section dealing with knowledge, also called Upanishad or Vedanta, and that addresses moksha, the need for moksha, which is by knowledge. So karma and jnanam, life of activity and life of contemplation. That is one path in two stages is in fact taught by the Vedas. Says Shankaracharya Ji in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita that Veda prescribes a twofold dharma, pravritti and nivritti, engagement and disengagement. So first is life of activity and then is the life of contemplation. Therefore, the life of a human being also is looked upon as consisting of four stages. First stage, the stage of the student, called Brahmachari. Then in Brahmacharya, the student goes to the teacher and gains the basic knowledge of Vedas, the rituals and code of conduct and how to live a righteous life and the religious life. He is ready now to enter the life of householder. So second stage is Grihastha-ashrama, life of householder. If he lives life of householder intelligently, with discretion, with discernment, with viveka, then slowly he grows out of the need for artha kama. So Grihastha-ashrama is meant to pursue dharma, artha kama. And he slowly grows out of artha kama and devotes himself to dharma or service. As a result, he becomes ready for retirement. So third stage of life is Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means forest dweller. So a householder now, he will hand over all the responsibility to his eldest son and retire into forest. His wife also may join him. Now the husband and wife, they live together, they live as friends. This is Vanaprastha. And mainly for Vanaprastha, whatever rituals he used to perform at home, he performs mentally. Because now he does not have any resources to perform those elaborate rituals, so he does it mentally. So Vanaprastha life is mainly for meditation. So it is the meditation is the upasana means mental worship. So all those rituals are performed mentally, and many meditations also are there. So life of Vanaprastha is basically the life of penance and meditation and worship. As a result, he becomes ready for knowledge. So finally, the Upanishad or the pursuit of knowledge of the self for the sannyasa. So Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, sannyasa. The four stages of life are there. Four Purushartha, four ends and four stages of life. For all of these Vedas prescribe. And four castes. They, Vedas also recognize the differences in the disposition of human beings. Because the mind is made up of three gunas or dispositions, sattva, rajas and tamas. So those who enjoy predominance of sattva, they are adept at learning and teaching, brahmanas. Those who have predominance of rajas, followed by sattva, are adept at administration and fighting the warrior class, who are also leaders and administrators. Third, where the rajas is predominant, then tamas, then sattva. They are generally little selfish people, good for business, vaishya. So agriculture, cattle, and trading and all of this is third kind of thing. And those are the predominance of tamas. They don't have that kind of initiative. So they can do what is to be done by instruction from others. That's called Shudra. Do all the labor class work. That's how the all functions of society also were divided into these 4 class of people. So 4 class of people. For them different rituals are there. One set of ritual of Brahmana, different from the Kshatriya, different from Vaishya, So rituals are also different, lifestyle also is different, their duties are also different, because the people are different. So, what is called creation is all diversity. Whole universe is diverse. So human beings also are all different from each other. So classifying them in this manner, by the caste and by the stage of life, and by the duties, and by the goals that they are seeking, Vedas address all these human needs of means and end. Means is what you should do to achieve a given end or the goal.
Today, when you, in the lecture of Vivekachudamani, you explain something very interesting, that in the scriptures there are do's and don't do, means what is correct, but in certain point, you talk about certain point where the person is like beyond the scriptures, but at the same time with the scripture. Can you explain a little more?
You see, all the rules and regulations are meant to become free from rules and regulations. The karma is meant to become free from karma. So therefore, Vedas teach, Vedas impart the knowledge in Upanishads that this individual self is none other than Brahman, the limitless. So that's the truth about ourselves. That you, I and everybody else is really Brahman, the limitless. And limitlessness is the basic order, a basic truth of the universe. So what you call basic truth, the satyam of the universe also is Brahman. And so the whole universe functions in keeping with the order. That order is Ishvara Brahman, and that's your own self. So when you come to know Brahman as yourself, then you know yourself as the truth of the whole universe. So now you're in harmony with the whole universe. So you're in harmony with what is right, harmony with what is good. So a person who knows the self as Brahman is effortlessly good. And therefore he doesn't need to be instructed. So when I have to deliberate and decide what to do, what not to do, then I need guidance. Because it's possible that I may make a wrong choice. And then I may hurt others and I may hurt myself. That is, so as long as this deliberation is there, that need is there, so long do's and don'ts. Vidhi and Nisheda. Do's and don'ts. But when you know the truth, then you already are in harmony. You don't have to be taught harmony. So these do's and don'ts are meant to teach us what the right thing is, what the harmony is in this situation. But the one who has discovered harmony in his own self doesn't need to be taught, doesn't need to be told. So no need of instruction of what to do, what not to do. He spontaneously does what is right and avoids what is not right. In that sense we say that he has transcended or gone beyond the injunctions even of the scriptures. Because scriptures are meant for ignorant people to gain wisdom. When you gain the wisdom, scriptures serve the purpose. And so like any means, like a boat serves the purpose when you cross a river, they don't need that. Scriptures also have served the purpose. So this person now he doesn't disrespect, he respects them. You may teach them also, but he doesn't need them. In that sense we say that he has become free also from the injunctions or control of the scriptures.
There is a very delicate issue that sometimes we hear people who say something like that, but they say from the beginning, you don't need scriptures, you don't need religion, you don't need Upanishads, you don't need nothing. There is only this question, who am I? And that's it. And people go, sit, and they think nothing is needed. And they talk only enlightenment, and that's it. But then, what do you think about no religion, no scriptures, nothing but it seems...
But then how did he come to know? Somebody told him about who am I? So somebody just told him. And then when you say who am I means what? He's just repeating who am I? Or inquiring as to who am I? So when he wants to inquire as to what's the nature of I, he needs some guidance from somebody. That's what we call scripture. Scripture are meant and teachers are meant to give you guidance. Even if who am I is the ultimate quest, for that quest also, this question is asked in Upanishad number of times. What's the nature of I? Because this body also I call I. My sense organs also I call I. Mind also sometimes I call I. So many I's are there. So what's the true nature of I? And therefore, merely repeating who am I do not think can yield or lead anybody anywhere. One does need the guidance of what it is, what he is seeking. And also, not only one has to know that I am consciousness, but also to know that everything is consciousness. So Upanishad teaching non-duality, not only the nature of I, but I is the self of all. So that all of that requires teaching. So without the teaching, the scriptures, and I don't know what's the need of saying you don't need scriptures. What grudge you have? What's the problem you have with scriptures? You have some problem with scriptures, with teachers? What's the problem? So that doesn't sound appropriate.
Mm-hmm. And the other question that I wanted to is a little different. This sentence, God is love. The love, because as you say in the lecture too, many people think somebody who is Vedanta, Advaita, nothing to do with love, nothing to do with this devotion. So how is the place of love in the realization of my real nature? How is connected?
Well, in fact we talked about that yesterday also, today. That you have to love what you want to know. There has to be a commitment. If you want to know, whatever it is that you want to know, should completely occupy your mind, should completely absorb you. Even a scientist also completely gets absorbed in what it is that he wants to know. So here also, if you want to know the truth, your mind must get completely absorbed with that idea, free from all other distractions. So that is called love. What is love is that which results into a total commitment and total absorption. So now the word love may have to be understood in an appropriate sense, that even a seeker of truth also loves the truth that he wants to know. And Upanishad says that when you are completely dedicated to knowing the truth, then truth reveals itself before you. So you will know the truth, or you will know anything if it reveals itself to you. Otherwise you won't know. So when will it reveal? When it becomes favorable to you. So we need favor, we need the grace of truth. That's how worship of the truth, love the truth is involved. So pursuit of knowledge definitely involves devotion. Devotion to what it is that you want to know. Upanishad says, Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyete kathitah yarthaha prakashante mahatmanah. There is one Upanishad called Shvetashvatar Upanishad. The whole teaching is complete. At the end the teacher says that one who has the supreme devotion for God and an equal devotion for the teacher, only in the mind of that person these words will reveal their meanings. You see, knowledge takes place when the words reveal their meaning in our mind. Even what I am saying right now also can be understood only when these words will reveal their meaning in a mind, in a given mind. So when the words of the teacher and Upanishad reveal their meaning, that's when one comes to know. So when will they reveal? Upanishad says, when the mind is full of devotion. Devotion to what you want to know and devotion to the preceptor who teaches you. So that love and devotion is an integral part. That is why they talk of teacher. So relation between the student and the teacher is one of devotion and love, mutually. And teacher stands for God and he stands for scripture. So there is love for all of them. So love and devotion are means of knowledge.
But in this world, many people say that there is a lack of love in the world. But we see all around so many people say, I fall in love and I love my children, I love my country. This is love too? Or we talk about a different kind of love?
No, that is, you see, the nature of the self is love. You and I are nothing but of the nature of love. Whether you call it joy, ananda, or love, or consciousness, or Brahman, it's the same thing. So love is our nature. So whatever we do is really the expression of love. That's what it is. However, what happens is, when love gets mixed with selfishness, it becomes distorted. Then there is partiality for one, cruelty for the other one. Then I love one person at the cost of other. So when people say that there is no love in the universe, it means that the love is polluted by self-centeredness. People are becoming more and more self-centered, and therefore the love becomes more and more restricted, and therefore that love gets distorted as cruelty. Even cruelty also is a distorted form of love. Because I love something so much that when something comes in the way of that love, I become equally violent to that which obstructs my love. So violence also is a result of love or distorted love. So whatever it is nothing but love. But then, because human being is becoming more and more insecure and more self-centered, so love is more and more distorted as anger, as cruelty, as violence. So people would say that there is no love.